And here we are. Hi. I've been looking forward to tonight. It's funny, having now cut it down to once a week. I miss you, but here we are. So let's have a little look at the first card that's coming out for this week. I just want to share something. I've had a wonderful few days, and then there was a little twist today. It's very subtle but powerful. And it reinforced a decision I made a little while ago. And I thought, see, there it is again. So if you think the universe isn't watching, um, just keep your mind aware because it will constantly remind you about decisions that you've made, particularly if they're really good for you. It'll go, don't get complacent. This is the next step, not that one. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Now, how perfect is this? This one is called Raising Your Standards. And so when you do that, you attract different things into your life when you decide. Um, so again, a few more decisions that I've made, and it is to do with this. But when you do it, I would love to know your comments. What is it? Where is it? How would it be that you would want to change and raise a standard of something? Is it something that you really don't want to put up with and that's it? Have to be brave enough to step away or to say no thanks. What might it be? So raising your standards will always give you a different outcome. This next one, body movement. And I can be guilty of not doing that if I'm researching. I really go down the rabbit hole sometimes when I'm looking for answers. And particularly if it's for a client. A lot of people don't know perhaps the hours I might put in behind a question that they've asked me. And even though we've got this spiritual answer, I want to know the quantum field answer. I want to know the psychological answer so that I can be at my very best to help somebody move forward into the life that they really want. And so this is why Big Bella, my dog, comes in really handy. She stares at me, and then I know it's time for a walk. And so I'm very grateful. This one here is honoring your true feelings. This is really important. Please don't let anyone ever say to you, "Oh, you don't really feel like that." Because yes, you do. Now, it's not right, it's not wrong. So your feelings are not right and wrong. It's the next step. How you're going to respond, not react. And it is so easy to react. I've done it a few times. I almost did it this morning. Fortunately, I had something else to do and now I've calmed down. I can deal with it a little bit better. So, really, honestly, life is the constant learning curve. It happens to the best of us. The next one here is problem resolved, and I believe that it is. And for most of us, if you take that, if you raise your standards, if you move a little and movement just helps the body clear itself and you honor your true feelings, then truly the problem will be resolved. Now you notice it doesn't say solved. It hints at being solved, but it's resolved. So maybe there's extra communication that needs to come into play for it to be resolved. Maybe the other person doesn't know something, or maybe you don't know something. And this is where communication is really, really paramount. And having some empathy and being centered. And yes, I know I have dealt with many people, some of them being relatives, that they've got a filter on, and it doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to believe you, they're not going to understand, and it's a lost cause for you. There's no good racing after someone who doesn't want to be caught. So just really evaluate where you are. We're coming to the end of yet another year, and how do you want to turn up for yourself in the next year? How do you want to operate for yourself and others around you? The last one is a romantic partner. So this is a lovely card if that's what you're looking for. And I think you need to be very clear about what a romantic partner means for you. It's not someone to take up the slack in your life or to fix the garden gate, whatever it may be. That's lovely if it's a bonus. But the question I often ask people when they say, "Oh, I want a partner that does this and is generous," and I go, "Okay, so what are you going to give?" And they actually hesitate at first. They don't think about what they're going to give. They're busy knowing what they want. So, on the other side of the page, when you write this list of all the things you want, what is it that you would like to contribute to that? And this particular person, if that's the person you want, who you are right now, are you the person that they're looking for? So, for instance, if you are very isolated and you like to be on your own, but you want this really go ahead guy. Is he looking for someone that isolates themselves? Probably not. So one or the other has to have an adjustment. Do you have someone that's maybe not quite as buoyant as you think you might want? Because that's to help you. Whereas a romantic partner, there should be that equality. Now, with equality, it can be maybe I give you 80% today and you give me 10, and tomorrow maybe you give me 100%, and maybe I give 100%, we've got a 200% day. So it's very much swings and roundabouts. It's about being in each other's corner and supporting each other. So that was a great little reading from those cards. So let's move on to a different pack. And let's see what we've got from here. And of course, we're in 8 day, the one. This is the leadership, being independent. And the seven, do it in a different way, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you have to think outside the square, even be outside the square to make things go well. This one here is the traffic light, and it's all systems go. So that's great. You've been making decisions, you've been making adjustments, and it's saying, go ahead. You seem to have been choosing the steps that you want to do next. Most people react to whatever step comes along. And one of the best ways to feel as though you're empowered is to make choices yourself. That's a really good way to get that empowerment back. The next one is there's a gift here. There's a gift coming, and it's not to do with Christmas. I always think that the gift is maybe you thought you were going to be in trouble and now you're not. Maybe it wasn't as troublesome as you thought. To me, that's a gift. Maybe you've done something for somebody, it's out the goodness of your heart, and they've given you a gift in appreciation. So it doesn't have to be big. It can be an extra thank you from somebody that maybe you weren't thinking. This one here is about negotiating. This is a round table, and this is about people getting together and making important decisions. Now, this might be where you've got some legal dealings happening, perhaps, or you're just negotiating on, could be negotiating on a property, could be negotiating on renovations. Maybe you need quotes for something. It's really important that everybody feels heard around that table. There's a win coming here. Love this card. This one here, to me, this is when someone's been working for something and they get some kind of acknowledgement. There's a win. Maybe you've been doing exams and you get a gold star. You get more than a pass, and you're absolutely thrilled. But this is what I call a joyful card. It's something that you've been working towards, and it's actually a yes. It's a win. Okay, so this one here. This is something being unlocked. Maybe you feel as though you've been trapped. Maybe you feel you can't get out of something, but this is actually saying this is unlocked. Now, what I find interesting, I don't normally read it this way, but there's actually not a key. So maybe it wasn't quite as locked as you thought it was. Maybe you weren't quite as locked in as you thought you were. But this one here is it's unlocked. You notice it hasn't been swung round. So maybe it's going to be easier to get out than what you thought. So if you were feeling, and it can be that feeling of being in too often. And maybe it's time that you ring a girlfriend up and say, how about I treat you to a coffee? Well, how about we go out for coffee? It doesn't have to be anything major. You might even say, should we go for a walk together? Take a water bottle, go for a walk. But this is like unlocking yourself, unlocking perceived ways that you think that you're locked in. This one here, sorry, this one here. The snake is about shedding your identity. If you're feeling that you're not manifesting the things that you would really want, um, Einstein said you can't solve the problem from the same mind that created it. And I believe you can't always manifest from the same actions that you keep doing, because the same actions are going to give you what you've been getting. You're just going to get more of that. So there has to be something that you do that you make an allowance for, um, that will change the look. There's the law of I loved it when I found out that when there's an explosion, there's an implosion. Found that out, I don't know, about 10 years ago. So when the air goes up and there's an explosion, there's air that rushes in. So you got yin, yang, night, day, black, white, explosion, implosion. And so when you make space, decide what you're making space for. What are you going to welcome in? And get excited, because that vibration is, oh, I'm excited. This is coming. This is really coming. And if that's not your normal personality, well, that's the old one. The old one is only going to get you more of the same. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, personality, it's your personal reality. So doesn't mean you have to change everything about yourself. But if you catch yourself being negative a lot of the time, well, then maybe this is the time you say, I'm going to look at this in a positive light. So I fell down the stairs about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. And straight away I thought, so what does this mean besides me falling down the stairs? Um, it was got quite painful, got more painful. And of course, I left it a bit long, finally got the x-ray, and I fractured my ankle. So not badly, but nevertheless, I have. Hi, Joe. Hi, Jen. Um, and I was making, I feel perhaps a bit of a rushed, big decision. And now it's turned out that it will be to my advantage to slow things down. So maybe I was going to make a rash decision and the universe stepped in. I missed the last two stairs and yeah, was not good. Um, Now this one here is blowing up with air, and it can be gossip. It can be your feelings where you're starting to think about it and think about it and think about it, and it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's not actually real. Now, often people feel a certain, when you can see them, it's getting more when the situation really hasn't got any worse, but they're getting worse. They're thinking the worst thing. Best thing to do is to acknowledge that your mind is, getting a little bit excited over the negative part. And what do we do if we let the balloon go? It goes all around the place. So maybe there we go with that thing again, letting go and making space, explosion, implosion, for something else to come in to give us a little bit more information. Um, I might be able to share with you next year, sort of the process of what's been happening in the last 3 weeks. It's been absolutely amazing. And I'm really glad that I've had to be slowed down, because I can really see it. If I was racing ahead and head down and mind going, I wouldn't have seen it. So it's very exciting. This one here is balancing your food and drink. And of course, we are coming to Christmas. So maybe we have to decide, are we going to be a little bit gluttonous for two or 3 days? And should we behave now, so that we can, enjoy what we want to enjoy, and then, get back to a healthy lifestyle after. For some people, they have no choice. They have health issues, and so they've got to constantly choose the right thing. This one here is about giving each other hugs. I think this is really, really important. A lot of us are starving for some kind of touch. And if if this is not possible, if you can buy yourself, save up and buy yourself a gift voucher for a massage or reflexology or aromatherapy, something like that, a healing of some kind. Because then what you can do is when you really need it, you've actually prepaid for it. Give the gift to yourself, because being hugged is super important. Right. Let me see. So we have the surrender cards. What is it that universe wants us to be aware of that maybe we need to stop doing or to surrender? What card is this? Surrender to the wisdom of your body. So here, listen to your body's messages about a personal situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. So I think we pretty well started off with this kind of thing. Um, and I think the more that you tune in and you're aware, I actually like to write it down. And then perhaps in a week or two, something happens, and I go back and I think, yeah, yeah, I pretty well had an idea that was going to happen. And so I think it's just good for yourself, particularly if you live on your own. You have these notes to go back to, and you can see how close and how right perhaps you were. Or maybe you were mistaken. Maybe new information came through later. Whatever it is, journaling, I think, is super powerful. I do it every morning and it really helps set up every day. And this one is about rest and sleep. And I know uh, I've been part of that brigade that says, "Oh, I'm so busy." Someone says, "I'm so busy." There's competition how busy everybody is. But this one should be, oh, I got 8 hours sleep. Imagine saying that in the office tomorrow. I got 8 hours sleep. There'll probably be stunned silence. So we could be revering and honoring the wrong things. We need to be looking at how much we can rest and still get things done, not the other way around. So I feel as though that is saying prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time. That's super important to me. I run silent all day. I don't even have the radio on the car. It's just that quiet time. And it helps to rejuvenate you. And again, same thing, surrender to silence. Silence is very important for your mental health, very important for your physical health. Um, and when you get that silence, you're comfortable with it, you can actually go within. And there are a lot of answers deeply inside of us that we often don't hear if we're over the top being busy. So I'm just handing out a couple of other packs of cards here. So let me just see what I've got in this pack. There's two more hiding in there. Nope, I've got them all, which is great. So we've got the Little Red Riding Hood cards here. Oh, what's this one? So this one is maybe feeling a little bit insecure, and this can definitely happen. This that saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." What a crazy saying that is. Couldn't be more from the truth. So we need someone to make a different one to that, because words will sit in our mind for decades, maybe for a lifetime. And so here, this is making sure that you are looking after yourself each day, and always looking for the good in yourself and reminding yourself. Mel Robbins has this thing where you go into the bathroom, and after you've perhaps cleaned your teeth, you high five yourself in the mirror, and you got this. And I think that's a terrific thing to do, because it is almost like there's another person there that's supporting you. You've got this. Hey, one more from this pack. And then I'm going to pull a card for Joe and one for one for Jen. See what we've got here. Right. So this one here, I'm going to go for this one. This one is about wisdom. And of course, when we do the meditation, we go deep inside ourselves. And this one here is interesting because I feel as though this is to do with the earth, the greenery, food, sustainability, but it's also got the dove here, which I feel is what we're all looking for now, some peace in our lives. We just want, the barking dogs to stop and the neighbors next door to treat their kids right, or the people down the road not to have so many parties, or people to be a little bit more considerate. If we're going to live in an environment where we're fairly close, well, then we need to abide by those concerns and have some empathy for other people. So I feel as though this wisdom here is what we all need to tap into. So we are now going to pull a card for Joe. So let me get the cards. I'm going to use that other pack. I used to use this pack quite a bit. So I'm going to go back to it for tonight. I think there's something like about 100 cards or more in this pack. So Joe, let's see what's coming out for you. Oh, here we go. What's this one? Okay, this is the glove. And of course, with the glove, I feel it's got certain things. It's about protection, protecting your hands, and it may be not diving into volunteer too quickly. Maybe you're hiding your hand a little bit inside a glove. It can also be going to into the observer position, maybe not lending a hand too quickly. If you're always the first, maybe you can be the fifth. Somebody taught me that many, many years ago. Sometimes the person that jumps up second, say after you, is actually more appropriate for the job. So this one here, I feel, is a little bit about protection, a little bit about maybe hiding your hand, not putting all your cards on the table, going into observer mode. I feel that is, and it's a little bit of protection, looking after yourself. So hopefully, Joe, you get some value from that reading for yourself. So Jen, let's do you before we go on to the teacups. And this one is the cat. Now, I do know that you've just got yourself a gorgeous dog, a senior dog, and that is just superb. And I hope it's working out really well. But what the cat is, it's talking about comfort and stretching. And, the cats really don't rush, do they? They like to play, they do like to chase and play. But they do an awful lot of resting and stretching. And like they say, we train a dog, but a cat trains us. So this is about us giving ourselves some comfort, some self-nurturing, just enjoying animals, enjoying that love that you'll have for each other. And this one here is to, they really enjoy their food. It can be quite fussy, but this is about just enjoying nature. And I'm sure, Jen, that you will definitely do that. So we're moving on to the tea leaves now. I'm just going to drain the cup here and let's see what we've got happening. And oh, there's lots and lots of tea leaves in here. Right, so quite busy. Okay. So the first thing I see is almost like two animals here locking horns. And there's like two people. There's one trying to pull one animal back, but there's a slightly bigger person going, that's hey, that's it. So if you feel that's you, it's a little bit like one is much big. One animal is a bit bigger than the other, as you can see, but you can see this one looks a bit like a rhinoceros, and it's a bit bullheaded about the way things should be. And this person in the middle is saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and it seems to be working. Like, just go back to your corners, sort yourselves out. Let's try and figure this out. So, of course, this is coming around this time. And it is Christmas, and when families get together, people get together that aren't normally going to be together or don't really want to be together, but they're trying to stick to the tradition. It can get a bit sticky, can get a bit heated. So maybe if you can have some diversions to keep that calm, that will work. But sounds like somebody's going to be a little bit the meat in the sandwich. Oh, now Nikki has joined us, so let's draw a card for Nikki before we do a little bit more on the tea leaves here. All right, what's this one? So this is to do with the home. This one is about the home. And this is making it, really lovely. And you'll notice there's a black and white. You've got a red door, then you've got little boxes of flowers. This is like beautifying the home, making it yours, putting your stamp on it, and it's all your moves. So the black and white on some cards in this set, the black and white is very close together, but this is spaced out. So you have time now to make each move and each decision in your own time. So Nikki, I hope that helps you. You might even be doing a little bit of landscaping there. So we're going back to the cup now. And I feel as though I've got Merlin's hat in here. And this looks as though it's round about January, and and it even looks like Merlin with the magic wand. And so there is some magic coming here. There are things, and it's a little bit further. My pleasure, Nikki. It's a little bit further down the cup, and to me, it means get in touch with that part of you that wants that little bit of magic in their lives. There are times when I go out and I just look at things and I go, wow, wow, this is like amazing. Or maybe I'll meet somebody that I haven't seen for a while, or maybe I've never met them before. And I was talking to a 102-year-old yesterday, and we were talking about um, literature. We were talking about books, and she'd won two literary awards, and of course I love, me and my books. And I just thought, what a magical afternoon, talking to someone of that age, still walking with a walker, but still, very, very independent and super interesting. So there's lots of magic in life if you really, really look for it. I also feel as though we're coming around about February, March here, and there is, particularly for women, there is something going on here um, where there are different awards coming out. And I think there's lots of groups now where women are coming together and they're really acknowledging and working together. You're going to see more and more of that. It's just going to keep coming. And so it should. There's no reason why we shouldn't celebrate like everybody else. I've got the initial I in here. Now, it could be a first name or second name. It could be Irene. It could be Mr. or Mrs. Island or whatever it might be. But the initial I is very important. Of course, also it's a number one, and of course it is a number one next year. So that's super important. And there's some little hearts here. So people are having romantic encounters next year because it's got freshness about it. So just moving around, is there anything? Look, there's quite a bit in there, but we're up to meditation time, and I'm fairly keen that you get to rest. So on your next breath, please just take a breath and close your eyes and let the white light go. Come in over your head, down the back of your head, your shoulders, down your arms, elbows, wrists, and to your hands and to your palm. And on the next breath, just let that white light go down your body, down into your hips and your bottom, behind your legs and your knees, your calves, down to your heels and into the ground, having that sense of being safe and grounded. And letting the white light come over your face. letting the wrinkles go in the brow, perhaps letting the jaw drop a little, let the tongue relax. And as it comes across the throat, boy, we do a lot of talking in a day. Let that relax. And on the next breath, put both hands over the heart area and say to yourself, I am here. I'm here. And then give yourself a little pair of lungs for your heart and let it breathe. And as it breathes, it says, oh, this is wonderful to let go, wonderful to take a breath. And let that white light go down your tummy, down the front of your legs, your knees, right down into your feet and all the toes and into the ground. And with this grounded feeling, have a sense of you going deep inside yourself, safely, sacredly, and coming across your sanctuary door. And as you get close, just with your frequency, your unique vibration, the door opens and you step inside and it closes behind you. And this is a magical space. It's peaceful, it's gentle, it's loving, it's beautiful. Perhaps it even smells nice. And as you look around your area, whether it be indoors or outdoors, by the ocean, up a mountain, in a cave, wherever it may be, the one thing that we all have is the healing bed in front of us. As you go over to this bed now and settle down, you sink into it, and there's a feeling of belonging, because it's true. You do belong. This is your place. No one else can enter. This is your safe space. The world is going on noisily outside, but here this is quiet, safe, sacred. And as you're lying on the bed, relaxing, letting go even more, the pink mist comes, the unconditional love, healing pink mist, swirling around you, above you, below you, beside you, entering your body, searching for cells no longer working, scooping them up, replacing them with young, jiggly cells that are excited to be part of your journey now. Other cells that perhaps are misshapen and can't duplicate, all these things are gathered up, transferred out of your body and transmuted to energy for later. And as this is taking place, this pink mist will hesitate on areas that need extra love and attention and care, healing, loving, acknowledgement. And I want you to imagine there is a loving voice that you can hear with your eyes closed. And it's reminding you of everything that is good about you. The times you've been tired and yet you've showed up for someone. The time when perhaps you felt a bit broken. Maybe you just still went to work, didn't let your teammates down. Maybe there was a time when you wanted to shout and scream and you held your tongue and you're glad that you did. It's reminding you of your resilience, all the times that you've got back up again. It's reminding you of the times when you were sick and you got well. How the body itself is the miracle. It's reminding you of the strategies you've used to get this far. And it's congratulating you. And it's proud of you. And this voice loves you unconditionally. And what is special about this voice, it understands some of the decisions you made when others didn't understand. understands what your heart was saying. And on the next breath, I want you to just acknowledge yourself. And the next breath is to stand up and make your way to the door, which opens automatically just with your frequency. And as you step through, it closes behind you. But you know you can come back to this sanctuary anytime you want to, anytime you need to, anytime it's best to. And as you float back up on the 17th of November 2025, where you started, my wish is that you're feeling a little bit healthier, a little bit happier, a little bit more centered, and that you are going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Or if you're tuning in from overseas, perhaps it's the rest of the day. I really appreciate you being here. It's wonderful to see your names. And for all the people that are watching, perhaps, and not commenting, again, thank you for being here. And a special welcome to all of you, including the people that will watch the replay. So thank you again. Have an awesome week. And I will see you next Monday night. Take care. Look after yourselves. Thank you for being here. Joe, Jen, Nikki, and Rose. Bye bye.